Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm taking you straight into a tense moment from a recent Senate Appropriations hearing, where I pressed top United States defense officials Mr. Driscoll and General George on something that's been weighing on all of us, the growing alliance between China, Iran, and Russia. We're talking about global dominance, military strategy, and whether or not we can trust our allies to actually step up. Let's break this down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll try to land this plane within my time. I want to tell you briefly how I see the world and invite you to tell me if I'm wrong. I think President Xi and President Putin and the Ayatollah in Iran are working together. I think that President Xi is the quarterback. I think their goal is to have Russia dominate Central and Eastern Europe, to have Iran dominate the Middle East, and to have China dominate the Indo-Pacific while being free to roam in sub-Saharan Africa and South America and space. I do not want America to be the world's policeman, but I don't want President Xi or President Putin or Iran to be the world's policeman either.
I started by laying out the way I see the world. Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and the Ayatollah in Iran aren't just isolated threats, they're teaming up. Xi is the quarterback, orchestrating a play where Russia controls Europe, Iran seizes the Middle East, and China dominates the Indo-Pacific, all while expanding quietly into Africa, South America, and even space. I don't want the United States to be the world's policeman, but I sure as hell don't want them to be either. I looked them in the eye and asked, am I wrong? Hey. Now here's where it gets frustrating. These are smart men, but they danced around the heart of the question. Yes, they're working together, they admitted, but when I asked for clear answers, what they believe, what they know, I got careful words, too careful, and that's not enough. If we're going to give the Pentagon more money, and there's a lot of support in Congress to do just that, we need straight answers. If you appreciate direct talk and accountability, go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now.
Do I see the world in the right way?
I would tell you, Senator, that we are seeing them. I mean, I don't know specifically what their ambitions are, but we do see them working together and doing some of those things against our interest.
General, I need you to, both of you fine gentlemen, look us in the eye and tell us what you think. I understand you got to choose your words carefully. You don't want to get put on double secret probation. But we've got some hard decisions to make here. And there's a consensus, I think, in the Congress to give you more money. Because I think we need to spend more money on defense. But you're going to have to give us straight answers and tell us what you think. Mr. Secretary, am I right or wrong?
Senator, your question of one of your colleagues said it earlier, $185 billion is a lot of money. If we are given more money than is in the budget that you've seen, we will be good stewards of that and innovate even faster. I think what we are saying to this committee is we believe we can transform the Army with those amount of dollars as long as we are able to use them the way that we want to, and we are not
Tell
jammed.
me again the amount of money you need for the Army transformation.
We can use our current budget and transform the Army, as long as we're able to spend it the way that we believe is right.
How much money do you think we need to spend as a country to maintain or either, depending on your perspective, reach parity with China?
I think the President has mentioned between the two bills, $1 trillion for the DOD.
Okay. Do you trust Europe to spend more money?
I'm sorry, Europe, Senator.
Do you trust Germany to spend more money? They've talked a good game.
When I was out with NATO with Ambassador Whitaker and talked to a lot of our colleagues in the NATO countries, and as far as I could tell qualitatively, they believed it seemed to be that they were going to start to spend significantly more.
General, do you trust the United Kingdom to follow through and spend more money?
Let's talk dollars. I asked them, how much do you need to keep up with China? Their answer? $1 trillion spread across 2 defense bills. That's a staggering number. But if the threat is real, and I believe it is, then we have to spend smarter, not just bigger. And we have to ask, will Europe pull its weight? I asked about Germany, the United Kingdom, NATO. They've promised to spend more, but promises don't win wars, actions do. Then I got to the core issue. Is what we do in Ukraine linked to our fight with China, or are they separate? They started giving textbook answers. Everyone's watching, they said. I pushed harder, because the way we handle Ukraine sends a signal to our allies and our enemies. If we falter, China sees weakness. If we stand firm, China sees resolve. The two fronts are connected. Last, I asked, how's recruiting? Good news here. They've made real changes. New prep programs for future soldiers, better handling of medical waivers, a focus back on lethality. We need a strong force. We need a ready force. And at least on this front, it sounds like they're getting it right.
Do you think what we do in Ukraine impacts our struggle with China or not? Give me a straight answer.
I do think our partners and allies are watching what we're doing and how that turns out. Yes, Senator, I agree with that.
All right. Last question, because I'm going to land this plane. How's our recruiting coming?
We're dominating recruiting and retention.
Why is it better?
We made some structural changes and the return to a focus on lethality among our leadership.
What structural changes did you make?
We created a future soldiers prep program that gets soldiers or future soldiers who are right on the edge and helps get them a little bit more training before they join. And then there were problems with when we transitioned over to digital medical records. We were catching things when kids were younger, and we didn't have in place the mechanisms to get those waivers, and we have improved there dramatically.
Here's the bottom line. We're facing a coordinated challenge from the world's most dangerous regimes. We need clarity, we need strategy, and we need leadership that tells it straight. I'm going to keep asking the hard questions. You deserve no less. If you believe in holding our leaders accountable, subscribe, like, and share this video. Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.